Hello everybody, good morning, good whatever. It sucks that it has to be like this, but that's how we are and that's where it is. My name is Kennedy Carroll and I am here today to present alcoholism. Statistically, 88,000 people die each year from alcohol intake, and that's a pretty big number. And 1,800 of those are college students. 695,000 college students each year get sexually harassed or sexually assaulted from alcohol intake or alcohol-related injuries. Alcoholism is the third preventable death in the United States alone. College presidents are currently working around the country right now with government officials to move the drinking age back from 21 back to 18. It's kind of to give college freshmen and college sophomores more of an experience if they choose to have one. Now, you might ask, how does the subject as a whole relate to me? How can I relate myself back to this subject? Well, 4 out of 5 all college students drink, regardless of age. That's an 80%, and that's a pretty big number on college campuses. Alcoholism has many different styles, effects, consequences, and after periods of drinking for a while, it can take long-lasting effects on the body. Which brings me to my first subtopic, binge drinking. Binge drinking is the short amount of time with an excessive amount to drink. Binge drinking in college terms can kind of refer to shotgunning. It's short, effective, easy, and makes it easier than just sipping a couple sips of alcohol an hour. It's something that most college kids refer to. There's a couple reasons I think that would cause binge drinking. One, scientifically proven, is peer pressure. Kids who get pressured into situations either at tailgates, pre-gaming before a party, or even at a party. That can be pretty detrimental to a kid and they end up just cracking under the pressure. Another reason kids binge drink is stress. College is hard as hell and it is something that not many kids can get through, and a good release that some kids use might be forgetting who they are for a night or forgetting what's going on around them. Binge drinking at the end of the day can be pretty dangerous because it's so much alcohol in one take that the body begins to build a tolerance for it. Now, there are different stages of alcoholism, different levels people consider to help possibly cover up an addiction. I received personal experience from this alone over spring break. My mom had struggled with alcohol for 6 years. Sadly, over spring break, we had lost her due to her battle to it on March 3rd. It was one of the hardest things I think I could have ever said I had gone through. The stages break up into 4 parts. Excuse the visual aid. I know it's extremely hard to read, but just bear with me, I'm going to go all through it. The first stage being social drinking. This just means a person drinks day, lunch with friends, hanging out, and they use it often as an escape. It can become a daily or habitual routine, which then can lead to making it more dangerous. The second stage is called the dependent drinking stage, which is right here. The tolerance has already been built and people start incorporating it into their daily lives. Now, before I continue about the previous 2 stages I just mentioned and the previous next 2 that I will mention, I'm going through these stages pretty fast because we only have a set amount of time. These stages are slow and agonizing, especially to the person going through it and the people around them. It's not something quick and it's not always step by step. It's a process that's hard to explain in words unless you go through it. Now, progressive drinking is the third stage. Control on how much a person drinks, it's completely lost. They can no longer handle it, and it becomes a major problem. The person begins taking a supply, and scientifically proven, it is pretty known that they are good at hiding it, so their family never knows about the addiction. Now, the hardest and final stage, I think of all, is the overindulged or conclusion stage. Drinking is no longer social. It's their life. It's all they know. It's all they have. Their urge is gone and withdrawal symptoms become extremely severe and painful and sad, and it's something that you would never wish anybody to go through. If chosen and agreed to, rehabilitation services should already be set in and the person trying to receive help could possibly get it. Alcoholism can lead to poorly made decisions. I think we all know that, whether that be drunk driving or family isolation, the 2 worst in America. I assume everyone here knows what a BAC is. If not, it's a blood alcohol content, which is a measurement of intoxication used for medical and legal reasons. This part is kind of confusing, and especially with my visual aids being hard to see, I'm going to try to explain it the best way possible. So, 1/10 of 1% means that there are 0.10 grams of alcohol in your system for every 100 milliliters of blood. Basically, all that's saying is one drink's not going to hurt, but the more and more, your bloodstream just becomes flooded and basically just turns into alcohol, and your entire nervous system basically is mush. Does anyone know the legal alcohol limit to drive, to function, to not technically get in trouble by the law? That's 0.8%, which you would think, oh, that's not that much, that's not that bad. It's huge. At this point, you're considered legally impaired. The quote, "This could never happen to me," a phrase used when people try to say, oh, a DUI could never happen, or I could never be affected by this. That phrase I have heard my entire life growing up with my mom, and especially hearing about it and learning all about alcoholism. Liquid courage, that gives people to things they could never do sober, and that involves driving. Almost 30 people every day drive due to drunk driving. That's one person every 50 minutes, and that's over 10,000 deaths a year. In 2010, a pretty horrific drunk driving year, over $44 billion in damages happened. Alcoholism makes divorce rates go up by 20%. Normal divorce rates in America right now are wagering anywhere between 30 and 35%. With alcoholism involved, it goes up to almost 50% between parents. My parents got divorced due to my mom's struggle for alcoholism. It took a toll on our entire family. As a daughter, I was losing my mom, and for my dad, he was losing his wife, and it never got any easier. Alcoholism can creep up on anybody. Educating yourself and your friends, you can show signs and stages to help prevent consequences down the road. Now, after this whole presentation, I agree. There is nothing wrong with drinking. There is nothing wrong to relax and have fun. It's okay to just let loose sometimes. But knowing when the appropriate times to drink can be life-changing, not only for yourself, but the people around who love and care about you. I hope y'all are having a great rest of your day and online presentation, and I can't wait to watch the rest of y'all. Thank you so much.